Alright, today I'm going to show you guys how to paracord an EC2A, and then I'm going to show you guys how to paracord the ZA12. I already have the ZA12 paracorded, but I have the red one that came in, and I want to put this one on the ZA12, and I'm going to be switching the black one over to the EC2A. So the tools you're going to need are a lighter, a screwdriver, and you don't need a magnetizer, but I highly recommend it. It just makes it a lot easier to hold on to the screws as you are installing them or removing them. And lastly, your choice of mouse you want to paracord. If you guys want to purchase this Paracable, the website I went to is called Paracable Mods. I'll show you guys real quick how to purchase it right here. The first steps to buying the Paracable mod, you go to the website paracablemods.co.uk. Scroll down, you'll see solid colors and pattern cables. So I prefer the pattern cables. The one I wanted was this one. They didn't have it in stock at the time, so the model I would have it installed was the ZA12. Cable length, if your computer tower is close to you, I recommend the small. It's long enough. The standard is if it's kind of far, and if it's really like distant away. I don't know why it would be, but if it's really far from you, you pick the large. You'll save a couple bucks, so I recommend the small. Port color, transparent or black. It's a solid black or transparent see-through type of USB. It's like a white see-through. You'd add to basket. Next step, your checkout. Royal Mail International Standard is what I recommend because it doesn't require you. It does not require you to be home when you're receiving the package. If you pick Royal Mail International tracked and signed, you have to be there to sign for it. Once you proceed to checkout, you can either choose PayPal or credit card. Okay, onto the installing. So this is, you're going to want to remove the screws, or technically remove the mouse feet. The screws, there's going to be two right here and two right here. You have the choice to just lift up the sides and then just keep the middle sticked on there while you do this, or you could remove the whole thing and put on new mouse feet. It's up to you. Then you'd remove these screws right here, and you would do the same at the top. But since I'm putting on new mouse feet, I'm going to literally just remove the whole thing. I recommend always having somewhere to put the screws, because if you're like me and you're clumsy, you might lose it, and that's just a problem you don't want. Alright, and then the next step, once you're done removing the screws, this should pop off. There you go. Just like that. And there will be a ribbon, meaning this thing connected. You want to remove this for the moment until you have everything installed. Before I remove the paracord, I want you to see that I have the Paracable in this channel right here. Let me see if I focus it in. You can see there's a screw here for the top screw on the right. It's a little rough, so when you do install your paracord, you want to make sure it's not covering that hole, otherwise you can't close it back. If you accidentally remove this part, the casing, the one that's actually used on the case, don't worry, I did it already on my own mouse, so you just have to remember to put it in properly, and it should be fine as long as you don't see. Like if you look right now, as I'm trying to pull it apart, it came off. It's alright as long as you put it back in the right direction. The only thing really to worry about is bending the pins it holds. Just Make sure you don't do that. It's not too hard to realign it all.
Never knew a nigga that was better. Revenue, I'm good at getting cheddar. Reminisce on days I didn't eat. If it's meant to be, then it'll be. If it's not, then fuck it, I'ma try. Ain't no need to ask the father why no.
There's two of these heat shrinks.
One day everybody gotta die. One day everybody
The first one, the one closest to the USB right here. I personally give it like just a little bit of space like that. And then you will want to get a lighter. And you'll want to use the blue flame, which is the bottom side of it. It's kind of hard to show from a top angle. And me personally, I softly pinch it just to make it a little tighter. And you do this until you feel it's snug. From my experience, this one never really gets too tight. As you see, it's still loose. The second heat shrink is really the one that's more significant. So what you'll do is you'll plug this part back in, and you'll pretty much do a sort of like a guesstimate like of how to place it in the channel, kind of how I showed you earlier. I'm not sure if there's really a big problem if you have too much slack on the inside. I don't think so, but me personally, I want it to be at least a little tight. And so once you kind of have a measurement that you're happy with, knowing where the heat shrink is going to be, hold it together. You could remove it, and it's probably best that you remove it from here. But me personally, I'm just going to take it from where it is right here, and I'm gonna just burn it right here. And just like the first heat shrink, burn it with the blue flame until you feel it's snug and tight and it's not gonna move. Once you're done with the two black heat shrinks, there's gonna be these clear ones that come along with it. The person in charge of their YouTube channel says the clear heat shrinks, they give you an extra in case, I guess, if the first one is like that you feel is placed wrong. You want to place it on the inside of the shell. Don't place it on the outside, otherwise there's no use for it. It's basically to like keeping it from you know, moving left and right like this inside. For the most part, I want the plastic heat shrink on top of the black, but it can sit slightly on the edge. Looking at it, I might actually have too much slack on the inside, but we'll see. We'll make it work. Okay, so now that I know that it works, I'm just gonna try to keep it in its channel so I could place the top shell back on. Remember, before putting the top shell back on, you have to put the ribbon. The last step, just installing the mouse feet. I have extras that come with the box. I don't think there's really a certain proper way, but the way I look at it is the inside part, I just make sure it's hugging. So at least I know it's aligned from the inside. Hopefully all works. Perfect. So next is the EC2A, and unfortunately I do not have extra mouse feet, and since I've reinstalled I had the black one here originally, and then I removed it, and then I reinstalled the default cord, the mouse feet is kind of going bad, and as you can see, it's like not even on there anymore. So I'm not really into the hyperglides, like I don't really care about the hype about it, but I might try it just for this mouse, just because I actually need mouse feet anyways. So if it's, I believe they're like around 12 bucks for us 2 pairs, but yeah, anyway, so the first step to the EC2A is removing the mouse feet. Do I need to take off the top? I believe I do. Okay, mistake. I do not need to remove it from the top. So don't make the same mistakes I did. There's 3 screws on the bottom, and then I believe there's 2 in the middle. You have to actually peel off the sticker in the middle. After you remove 5 screws, there's a top layer, this one, then there's this scroll, and then to remove the second shell, there's a middle shell. So this is the top shell. To remove the second shell, you have to remove these 2 top screws, I believe. So for my first experience installing onto this, if you don't want trouble with the scroll wheel, because the scroll wheel will be really tight when you put on the top shell, and the reason why it was because I put the screws on the inside actually are different, I believe. So make sure you separate them from these 2. Can I remove it yet? No. So maybe just whatever screws you remove from, just remember to put them back exactly where they were. So removing those 2 top screws allows you to remove the middle shell. So the 2 on the top, the 3rd one right here, and the 4th one right here. The 3rd and the 4th hold this piece with the ribbon together. You can remove the ribbon to be safe, but just like I did with the ZA12, I kind of already know what I'm gonna do. I have to remove the cord, and this is probably like the part I'm the worst at, because I always remove the plastic casing, but you just gotta wiggle. Hopefully, oh, there you go. It came out actually perfectly. This would be the part where you burn this part, the first heat shrink, and then you would burn the second heat shrink, and then you would burn the 3rd heat shrink. Just as a reminder, if you guys already forgot the steps from the ZA12, it's exactly the same.
I spent time alone long before I met you. These days looking like a dream since I've been on the road. Seeing shit I've never seen before, and still there's no place to come.
And just reinstall the screws back the way they were. And remember to always double check by plugging it in, make sure it works. Otherwise you're gonna have to unscrew it and figure it all out. After installing the 3rd and the 4th screw, remember to put back the middle shell and then place the 2 screws on the top. the last one. Oh, don't forget to put the scroll wheel back on before you install the top shelf. And just like the ZA12, the black part goes to the left, the clear part to the right. Alright, and the last steps, install the screws. And remember to put the black screw in the bottom middle. You know, just gotta put the feet back. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. I hope you guys like this video. I hope I helped somebody out there. Shout out to Matthew from Paracable Mods. If you have any questions, you can reach them at their Instagram or Twitter. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.
Who you think you're talking to?